Welcome back, everybody. It's Latin's Fight Picks. Today we will do the recap for UFC Vegas 90, Allen versus Curtis 2. So this we'll go over, as usual, what went right and what went wrong. I had a pretty good feeling about this card, and the card actually was very profitable. And just because not so much of how many we got right. It's just the ones we got right were underdogs, and if you're doing the parlays, they were mostly on the bottom end, except for Walker. That was an upsetting one. So let's start. Walker, close first round. You know, this is a coin flip fight. Honestly, when I first looked at this fight, I wanted to looking for a reason to bet against Walker, but the more I looked, the more I realized, the guy still has some pretty good gas tank, and he's continually taking down people. And looking at Brzezinski, yeah, I wanted to bet Brzezinski, but I knew Walker would be taking this guy down 100%. And he did. Every single round he took him down. But unfortunately, Walker didn't do anything. He was just kind of hugging and holding him, and the judges, didn't award that. Brzezinski did land some shots, and they gave it to him, and it sucked. I mean, if he just landed just 5 or 6 decent strikes on the ground, he could have taken the first round easily. It was close, but I'm not mad at it. But yeah, it was. The first round is where it definitely lost it. He definitely had to throw a few more strikes. And it was a disappointing, but nevertheless, that was one of those. I had him in the most confident just because I knew he was going to take the takedowns, but that's kind of like the latter part of my thinking. And at the beginning, I thought it was like, okay, this is a 50-50. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized, like I said, he was going to take him down. I just wish he would have just thrown a couple more strikes and it would have been for sure. Anyways, that was disappointing. It's the curse of the most favorite. This is like the moment I put something up here, like maybe fade it because because somehow this one always gets nailed. I don't know. It doesn't matter who it is. Anyways, moving on. Bahamondes, easy fight for him. He was, most like I was saying, like these are interchangeable. They could have all been here, but for some reason, every time the one I do put in here is the one that loses. So mental note for myself and everybody out there. But Bahamondes, heavily favored, good fight, but yeah, didn't mind his performance at all. Definitely, I think. What did he lose the last one against Klein, or was it the one before that? Anyways, he made up for it. He looked really good. Morono, again, close fight. I mean, there were times when I was looking at this fight, I thought, man, do you go for the dog shot on this one? Just because of how live. What's his name was? What's that guy? Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, the guy Morona was fighting. I knew he was live, but I just couldn't bet on him. I mean, just no way. Morona was just too fast. He's smart. He can definitely score. But yeah, it was closer than I had wanted it to be. That's for sure. I mean, this is a fight. You just never know how they show up. This was close and he lost, and this was close and he won. But both of them were pretty big favorites when you look at it. Almeida, I was really confident on this guy. Like, this guy was my most confident underdog. I mean, he's my first row next to the most confident picks. I could not see this guy losing. I mean, that's how confident I was on it. So, easy pick. I mean, even when the fight started, I just wasn't even worried about it. This was one of those things where you just know somebody was going to win. That was the guy. Calvillo, here, she didn't fight, so I had to swap it out. I had Hugo here. I actually moved him up here, and he did win. And, Hugo is a really talented guy, but he's one of those guys that's overconfident. And he's hard to watch because sometimes he almost lowers his performance or his output just to barely win. I don't know if he's that confident. I don't know what it is. Just it's frustrating to watch somebody with so much talent not try to go out there and finish the fight or be aggressive and kind of hang back, knowing when the judges are looking at it that if he keeps hanging back, that he's going to lose it just by a little bit because the other guy is doing more. And it's frustrating to watch this guy fight, even though he's so talented and he won because of sheer talent. It wasn't because of his output. He just seems to do enough. It always seems like he feels like he's got a lot of time in there. Eventually, he's going to bite him in the butt. So, anyways, high confidence pick. He did win. The other guy did really well, actually. Much better than I anticipated, but probably due to the fact that he did not do as much. Moving on, Curtis, I got it. He won. I watched the fight. I mean, Curtis won that fight. I think they might have given it to him just because last round he was stepping back. I think he hurt his knee, and maybe the judges thought that during those exchanges that somehow he got hurt by Allen, but it wasn't from Allen. Maybe that's what it is, because it was a split decision. Curtis won that fight. I mean, Curtis was in control of that fight. He would literally knock or punch Allen down and just let him get back up so he could punch him down again. I mean, he was in firm control of the fight. He was winning the fight. Curtis won that fight. That was a ripoff. So, nevertheless, he was a good size underdog. He should have won that fight. Moving on, Mariscal, again, underdog. So, underdog, he should have won. He's an underdog. Mariscal, underdog, I keep saying, I don't know why you keep betting against Mariscal. The guy's a dog. He comes in and he fights hard and he finds a way to win. I'm glad he's an underdog. I hope they keep putting him as an underdog and everybody bets on the other guy, because I'm going to keep betting on Mariscal. So there you go. Moving on. Jackson, very big underdog as well, plus 175. I don't got any faith in Hernandez. He always seems to disappoint you. And Jackson's a dog. He's going to really work hard. He's not going to sell himself short. He's going to keep working at it. Apart from that knockdown in the third round, he was dominating that fight as far as I saw. It was not a hard decision to make. But Jackson did win. It was a good fight. Peak. I mean, I got notes here. Almost KO Campbell a couple times. I mean, there was 2 times. I mean, Campbell is the better striker, better grappler and all this, but this guy tries so hard and he goes all out. Just when you think he's out, he comes back, he throws these crazy punches. He's fun to watch. And there was at least 2 to 3 flurries where he hurt Campbell and he was chasing him across the ring. And I'm anticipating, at some point he's going to catch him with one more shot and KO Campbell. And there was at least 3 opportunities where he had done that. 2 for sure that I remember, where he chased him across the ring, hurting him and punching Campbell, and Campbell basically, covering up and running away. It was close. It was close. I really thought he could win by KO. He was so close. I was up. I was standing. I was screaming at the TV. It was so close. Hey, the guy did well. Not disappointed at all. It was a loss, but it was a good loss. Argueta, again, underdog. You know what? If he doesn't get choked out in the last 10 seconds of the second round, even if he loses the third round, I thought he was probably winning the first and second round just because of sheer control on it. I mean, granted, you could have scored maybe some damage, maybe for the other guy. But you know what? I thought there was a good argument where he was winning those first 2 rounds. And if he doesn't get choked out in the last 10 seconds, he could have won the decision, which is how I expected him to win. Just grind out a dirty, hold you down, push you up against the cage, take you down 50 times kind of decision that Argueta was gonna win. That's the decision I was expecting. And it was close. And if he had gotten through that first round, second round, and he wasn't choked out, he could have very well been, 2 rounds up and then gone to a decision. So anyways, it didn't quite work out like that. That Matsumoto, that was his name. I mean, to his credit, the guy's dangerous. I still think he might be a little too small for the division, but he's going to be entertaining to watch. It kind of reminds me a lot of Chepe, just his durability. He's good everywhere. Yeah, Going to be looking forward to watching him. Too bad for Argueta, but he could be on his way out soon. Randomly, I picked her very low confidence, and it was, she won one round, and Dumont did do well. Randomly didn't have the takedown defense as well as I thought she would have. She could have won that fight. I mean, she was obviously the way better striker, way more dangerous. But Dumont, grounded out. So no complaints there. But she's going to be entertaining to watch against certain girls. It's going to be really entertaining. I'm glad she's back. Cornell, this was the first fight, the biggest dog of the card. Look at that, eh? When she KO'd, what's her name, Melissa Mullins, and I kept saying to everybody, I'm fading Mullins because I think she sucks. And the times that she pulled it out of the hat, where she takes these girls down, the takedowns were really suspect. It was almost like I said, fluke takedowns. Not to say that she's not tough and she survived it, but this girl is an excellent striker. It looked like her takedown defense was pretty good in the last fight. I can only imagine, she is like a highly touted Muay Thai fighter, and she's very disciplined. I can only imagine she worked her butt off on these takedowns and getting back up, and she did. And then she KO'd her. I also had a prop bet KO by Cornell because I couldn't see Cornell winning out of the way. Almeida KO, I could see that happening, and that actually prop bet was huge. It was like plus 550, plus 450. So a prop bet parlay. It was good. It hit, and I was very happy with that. Those prop bets are always so exciting. They're hard to hit, but they're really exciting when they do hit. Nevertheless, overall, it was a good card. A lot of good picks. We had one underdog, two underdogs, three underdogs, four underdogs, that hit. So yeah, no complaints there. So, we had picked, there was a few underdogs didn't hit. This was, on its way. If it kept going, this guy should have hit for sure. This guy, that was the big ripoff. Curtis should have won that as an underdog. Peak, hey, he was live right to the end. Right to the end, he could have knocked this guy out. Let's put it that way. Nevertheless, hope you guys did well. Leave a note in the comments. Let me know how you did and what you thought about the fights. Otherwise, hit the like button if you like the material. Subscribe if you want to be notified the next time I have the next video out, which should be tomorrow for UFC 300, which is going to be a fantastic card. I've got 90% of it done. I just got to have a few more fights that I'm kind of looking at. There's a lot of coin flip fights in the 300, so it's going to be dog heavy again, just because there's so many. Everyone's live, it seems like. There's not going to be a real dominant fight, and even the dominant fights are so dominant that you'd probably be better off betting on the underdog anyway. So thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you in the next podcast probably tomorrow. Have a great day.